We continue to watch flurries of light snow showers with this cold air in place. So for today, temperatures into the single digits on either side of zero. Very cold tonight, teens and 20s for overnight lows below zero. And then tomorrow, looks like we'll have temperatures near zero for afternoon highs, developing snow showers late in the day.
Hey, what's up everyone? Now, if you're shooting in some extreme conditions, it might be good to have like a weather sealed camera system. And one of the best weather sealed, weather resistant camera systems is the Panasonic GH5. So if I have to go out in conditions like this, where it's the main temperature is -2 with a wind chill, it feels like temperature of like -20, well, I'm gonna need some kind of system that's gonna hold up to those conditions. So in this video, I'm just gonna walk you through what type of setup I would use in these type of conditions with the Panasonic GH5. And if you live in areas where it can get this cold, or maybe, I don't know, maybe you're lucky and you're on a beach somewhere and you have sand all over the place, this might be the system for you to make your video content. If you're new here, my name is Caleb and I've been doing freelance video production since 2012, but this channel is to help you make your own videos, whether you just started or you've been making them for a while, whether you use the GH5 or any other camera. If that's something you're interested in, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Okay, first off, we're just gonna talk about the camera body, and that's the Panasonic GH5. I really don't know if there's any other systems. Oh, cat. I don't know if there are any other systems that are quite as weather resistant or weather sealed as the Panasonic GH5. So we all know that this is going to be a good option. But next, let's talk about the lens that I would primarily use in a situation like this, where the weather is kind of extreme conditions, or like I said, if you're on a beach and it's sandy, that type of thing. You don't want sand, snow, water, wetness getting inside here. So you want to use a weather sealed lens. And for something like that, I would probably use the Lumix 12-35. Now, I did a whole video on the Lumix 12-35. If you want to check that out, I have it linked right up here. But this is right here. This is going to be a fully weather sealed camera operating machine. So I really like this setup for a weather sealed system. The 12-35 from Lumix is going to be that 24-70 equivalent. So you're going to have some pretty good range with this lens. It's nice, small, compact. The only thing I don't like, which I said in that video, is that when you zoom in and zoom out, it kind of shoots out the end of the lens right there. And personally, I'm not a big fan of that. But with this lens, you're gonna have optical image stabilization, so you're gonna have the dual IS combined with the GH5. And with a max aperture of 2.8, you're gonna be able to get some fairly decent depth of field with this lens. Now, one of the accessories that I'm gonna toss on the GH5 if I'm going out in conditions like this is because I'm gonna be wearing gloves, most likely, so I don't want to get frostbitten on my fingers and lose my fingers. So what I'm gonna do is probably wear gloves. And so if I had something like a battery grip, that is gonna make a big difference in control and handling of the camera. So what I would do is I would toss on a battery grip as well. And not only only are you gonna have better grip with gloves on, you're gonna have a little bit longer of battery life because you're able to double up on the batteries. And when it's cold like this, batteries don't like the cold, kind of like I don't like the cold. And so having the extra battery life is gonna go a long way in some extreme conditions like this. So another accessory that I'm gonna be using for this outdoor weather sealed system is just a Rode Video Micro. And the reason I'm gonna use a Rode Video Micro is because there's no battery in it. So I don't have to worry about losing battery power. I forgot to get my cord for this video, but there's no battery power that you have to worry about with the mic losing that battery power in extreme conditions like that. Now, sometimes when you're in extreme conditions, you're gonna have the wind that is gonna be a factor. And so having some kind of dead cat, sorry, Migo, I said dead cat, but having some type of cover on your microphone is gonna be vital in some extreme conditions like this. All right, so a couple more pieces that I would add to this extreme weather setup GH5 system would be the memory card. So you're gonna want a memory card that's going to survive in extreme condition. And for something like that, I recommend the Sony Tough Card. Now the Sony Tough Card is gonna be weather sealed, weather resistant. You can get it wet. It's not gonna affect the card at all. So having a card like this in conditions like this is gonna be huge. Now, one of the things that you run into when you go from outdoors back indoors is that this whole system, after being cold, coming into the warmth, the whole thing's gonna just get wet and foggy. So when you bring it inside, you don't want those types of things affecting the images that you got while you were out there. So having something like a Sony Tough Card is very, very important. All right, so the final piece that I would use on a setup like this would be a variable ND filter. And so what I would recommend is the K&F weatherproof, water resistant, weatherproof variable ND. Now this is a high definition variable ND, so it shouldn't affect your image at all. And so it has a multi-layer coating on there that is going to help resist any moisture that gets on the lens. So let me toss that on. So especially when you're shooting like when it's very, white outside from all the snow and everything, you're gonna want a variable ND on there to kind of help with exposure because everything is going to be getting, blown out and just overexposed. And so you're gonna wanna be able to get some depth of field with not taking your aperture too high. Usually if I have a variable ND on and I'm outside, I'm shooting at like 5.6 or f6, that type of thing, because I don't want it to get too extreme with the contrast in the image. So I wanna keep it open a little bit on the Lumix 12 to 35, but then I can adjust that image with this variable ND. And then with this K&F Concept variable ND, I know that it's gonna be water resistant and weather sealed, and then I have a fully weather sealed GH5 setup. So it'd be awesome if you let me know down in the comments what your setup would be in conditions like this, or like I said, if you're one of the lucky ones living on a beach and you don't want sand or dirt or water in your system, what would your setup be in those conditions as well? Let me know down in the comments. I think it'd be an awesome conversation to have about extreme weather GH5 setups.
All right, so I think the actual temperature is like -2, and then the feels like temperature with the wind chill is like -18 or -20 or something like that. So these are very cold conditions, and that's why I like this GH5 setup that I have with the battery grip, 12 to 35, 2.8, the microphone that does not have a battery, and then the Sony Tough Card and the variable ND that's weather and water resistant. So if you want to, you can definitely check out these items down in the description. They are affiliate links, which if you use those links, totally help out this channel, which I do appreciate. But this is, in conditions like this is the setup that I'd be using.
Now, if you have time, it'd be awesome if you stuck around, maybe watch one of these videos that's popping up on your screen right here. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.